Let's begin with something most people completely miss when it comes to understanding women, and that's the concept of emotional validation. Now, it's incredibly easy to assume that women are constantly searching for attention, endless praise, or regular reassurance. But genuine emotional validation has nothing to do with empty flattery or surface level compliments. What we're really talking about here is resonance. It's about creating that subtle yet incredibly powerful feeling of being emotionally felt, not just heard, not just acknowledged, it but truly understood on a deeper level without needing to spell out every single detail. You need to understand that every woman, regardless of how confident, successful, or emotionally guarded she might appear on the surface, it carries within her a quiet vulnerability. There's this fundamental desire to be fully accepted in her emotional truth. The messy parts, the complex layers, the sometimes contradictory reality of how she actually feels in any given moment. It Most people respond to emotions with immediate solutions or awkward silence. Very few people respond with genuine presence. It And that's precisely where you as a man can unlock something that words alone could never achieve. When you're with her and she genuinely feels that you feel her, in the way you remain calm when she's feeling overwhelmed, in the way you pause and create space when she's anxious, in the way your body language doesn't recoil when she reveals something raw and vulnerable. You become emotionally magnetic. Because at that moment, you're not just a man who hears her words. You're a man who truly gets her on a fundamental level. This is what creates genuine emotional safety. And understand this clearly. It's not about being soft or weak. It's about being deeply anchored in yourself. When she senses that your presence can hold space for both her strength and her softness simultaneously without judgment, without immediately trying to fix everything and without shrinking away from the intensity, that's the precise moment when she truly begins to open up. Because now she's not performing emotional strength just to survive. She's actively choosing vulnerability because she finally trusts she won't be punished for showing and that's the real vulnerability most men don't even realize exists in women. She doesn't want a man who frantically tries to fix her pain. She wants a man who doesn't run from who doesn't label her intensity as being too much or her silence as confusing. Who doesn't try to understand her like she's some puzzle that needs solving, but instead feels her like a poem. It's something that's meant to be experienced and appreciated, not analyzed and decoded. So if you genuinely want to stand out from every other man she's encountered, don't just talk at her, truly feel with her. Don't just listen to her words, validate her experience. And don't just show up for her best moments. Be genuinely present in her most uncertain and vulnerable moments too. Because when she realizes you can meet her in those emotional spaces without needing to change her or mold her into something more comfortable for you, that's when she feels the safest. And a woman who feels truly safe in your presence becomes a woman who can love without fear holding her back. Here's something we really don't discuss enough in conversations about women and relationships. Women are constantly doing things, constantly giving to others, constantly proving their worth through action in their careers, in their relationships, even in maintaining their appearance. There's this invisible pressure that exists to earn value through continuous effort. So what becomes one of their greatest emotional vulnerabilities? It's being chosen not for what they accomplish or do, but for who they authentically are when they finally stop trying so hard. At her absolute core, a woman wants to be truly seen beyond her performance and productivity, not just as the person who's always available, always supportive, always beautiful, always perfectly composed, but as the person who, even in complete stillness, even in comfortable silence, is fundamentally enough exactly as she is. And here's the secret that most men never realize or understand. When a woman senses that your genuine interest in her is rooted in her being and essence, not in her doing and achievements, you don't just win her temporary attention, you earn her deep trust. It goes deeper than simple romance. This speaks directly to her existential need for authentic belonging, not in some desperate or needy way, but in a profoundly human way. Because being chosen in this specific context doesn't mean being selected from a crowd of options. It means being recognized and valued at the soul level. When a man communicates through his consistent presence that he sees who she truly is when she's not performing or trying to impress anyone, and that he genuinely wants that authentic version of her, it touches a part of her that most people completely overlook or ignore. This is precisely why the woman who appears to have everything together on the surface can still feel emotionally exhausted and drained in her relationships. Because even with all her visible strength and immense capacity, she's still searching for that one precious space where she can simply be herself, not manage everything, not constantly impress others, not endlessly explain herself. It just exist in her natural state and still be genuinely desired and wanted. Now imagine the profound impact when a man comes along who doesn't reward her primarily for what she gives or provides, but for simply being herself without any additions. No constant chasing, no attempts at fixing her, no underlying pressure. Just absolute clarity in his message to her that she doesn't have to be more for him because he already chooses her exactly as she is. That moment right there, that's not just attractive or appealing, it's genuinely healing on a deep level. It speaks directly to the little girl inside her who once wondered if she had to earn love through achievement. It tells her definitively that she doesn't need to earn anything. This is what makes your presence truly magnetic. When you consciously shift from simply admiring her external beauty or impressive effort to genuinely appreciating her core essence. It's not about elaborate grand gestures or expensive displays. It's about quiet, unwavering certainty. It's the particular way you make her feel when all the performance finally stops and she still feels wanted and valued. So if you truly want to reach a woman's heart in a meaningful way, stop chasing and celebrating only her achievements and accomplishments. Instead, it anchor your desire firmly in who she is when she's completely unguarded and authentic. Because the woman who feels genuinely chosen without having to constantly perform and prove herself will give you the kind of profound love that no amount of effort or money can ever buy. There's a common misconception floating around that women are either drawn to pure dominance or complete softness. Like attraction has to be one extreme or the other. But what most men don't realize is that what women are truly drawn to on a visceral level isn't loud control or passive niceness. It's calm authority. That subtle but absolutely undeniable energy of a man who doesn't need to prove himself to anyone because he already knows exactly who he is at his core. When a man is genuinely grounded in his identity and doesn't flinch or panic in the face of emotional storms and intensity, she feels that stability immediately. That steadiness, that quiet certainty is what allows her to truly relax into her natural feminine flow and expression. Because here's the fundamental thing that many miss: women don't surrender their softness to noise and chaos. They surrender to genuine stability and consistency, not because they're somehow weak or incapable, but because that conscious surrender is precisely where their natural softness feels safest to emerge. A woman's emotional body responds primarily to energy and presence, not to logic and reason. So when you attempt to lead her through force by being loud, overbearing, or rigidly controlling, she naturally resists. It not because she doesn't want to follow your lead, but because she doesn't trust the direction you're heading or your ability to get there safely. True leadership, the kind that genuinely makes her lean into you, isn't about barking commands or demanding compliance. It's about being a solid container, a consistent presence that holds space effectively without collapsing under pressure or stress. This is where genuine emotional maturity becomes crucial. When she clearly sees that you can navigate her complexity and emotional depths without shrinking away or trying to dominate and control everything, she feels like she can finally breathe freely. That's the precise moment when her protective walls come down. Because now she doesn't have to be the leader and decision maker all the time. She doesn't have to carry both her emotions and yours simultaneously. She gets to lean back and relax. Not because you're aggressively taking over control, but because you're leading with genuine balance and wisdom. And that's the real opportunity most men completely miss in relationships. A woman doesn't actually want to take charge and lead everything. She just wants to feel safe enough not to have to. That means being decisive in your actions without being dismissive of her input. Being assertive about your values without being aggressive in your delivery, and being emotionally intelligent enough to lead with genuine empathy and understanding. That particular balance is incredibly rare in today's world, and that's precisely why it's so magnetic and attractive. So when you consistently show up not just as a man with surface confidence, but as a man with calm, grounded confidence that doesn't waver, you give her what so many other men fail to offer. You provide stability combined with softness, strength without destructive ego, clear direction paired with emotional depth and awareness. And that creates a dynamic where her natural femininity can breathe freely and her trust in you can continuously deepen over time. The man who leads quietly, consistently, and with genuine emotional presence and awareness leads her heart effectively without ever needing to control it through force or manipulation. And that makes all the difference in creating something truly special and lasting between you